bang this out. Take two.
Yeah.
We are in Trea Turner's house. Trea let us in to see the gear that he's got, the gear that he's kind of collected over his career, and he's going to kind of take us through the things that he holds most dear. So Trea, you've got some gloves here that I'd like to go through and just kind of figure out what the evolution of your kind of, the glove that you choose, the pattern you choose, and why you chose those gloves, and where are they from? Like what year?
So the first one I got, the oldest one I got, is from college. I wore Rawlings in high school, and then in college I got a chance to wear Rawlings as well. So this was kind of my first real glove, I guess. I got the H-Web. Haven't used it in a while, but still probably could bring this out every once in a while if I wanted to. But I kind of just keep it in the closet because I don't want to lose it. But
of course not.
This is where it kind of all started, and I've kind of based everything since then off this glove right here. So
and this was when you were playing. Were you playing short in college or second?
Played third my first year and then short, but I'm pretty sure that was from when I was playing short. I used I think a different glove my freshman year. I don't know if I don't think I have that one anymore, but this one would be shortstop from college, maybe my junior year. And then next would be my debut glove. So I got once again H-Web. This one's 11 3/4, and then we kind of went down to 11 1/2 here. Pretty similar. Laces are a little different, but pretty similar style, and then a little bit different stitching, but always go with the TVT. And this one feels a little small, so I use this a lot for second base, and then also my debut. I think I went in for Desmond, so I played a little bit of short in my debut with this, but then after that a lot of second base, and I like this. I like it, and I also kind of glad that I get to use other gloves at the same time. This one has a special place in my heart, but it feels a little different than a lot of my other gloves. So I keep this one in the closet a lot.
Yeah. Yep. You've got to keep them just so you know where you came from.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can never get rid of that.
No.
This last year, and maybe the last couple years actually, this has been my gamer. So she's a little worn out. She's got all sorts of stuff going on, but I'll probably use this for spring training and probably most of this year until I kind of get a new one broken in. But she's breaking down. I need to oil her up and put some leather cleaning on here. But once again, post web 11 1/2, pretty standard for me, and hopefully she can make it another season. The laces are getting a little worn. So
if you need to use this in the game, I mean, you're going to probably be using it as a gamer early
sure.
on in the season.
For sure. I try not to use it in BP or spring training too much. I'll try to save it for when it counts. But
right.
This is the one that feels the best to me, and this is the one that I trust the most. So I try to use it the least amount as opposed to some of these other ones. But she's my favorite.
What's the reason for all the stains and all the how did that come to be? What's going on in there? Is that pine tar? Is that
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of pine tar. I don't really spit my glove like a lot of guys, but maybe a couple times a year, 2, 3, 4 times a year, I'll use a little bit of the leather cleaner so she doesn't crack so much, because a lot of guys will give me crap that it's starting to wear out, and you can see on some of the fingers it's starting to look a little worn down. But I'll use a little bit of the leather cleaner so the middle right here looks a little dark. As opposed to some of the outer edges, but I try to keep it the same. I try not, when it comes out of the box, I want to keep it that way as long as possible, and try not to mess with it too much.
Yep.
So
that's how a glove ought to look.
I know
gloves shouldn't look too shiny.
Well, it's a little scary. I don't want it to fall apart. I'm hoping I can get a couple more years. I know Troy Tulowitzki used the same glove for 20 years or something ridiculous. So
I wouldn't touch that thing. The diseases that must be inside that glove every single pitch, him spitting in there.
Yeah,
I don't want anything to do with that.
I can't do that, but I do want that one to last as long as possible. So I also talked a little bit about not using it during BP. So each year I kind of go crazy with the BP glove, and this last year I did the blue suede, which is really cool. I'll probably do this again eventually. But 11 1/2 post web. I got a little bit of gold stitching on here, and then inside blue leather as well. So this one is basically BP gloves. Still pretty new. It's still pretty stiff, but I mess around with this one a little bit, and it's something fun because I usually go with the tan for the games, and then in BP I'll go a little crazy.
You had an awesome like red, white, and blue glove a couple years ago too. Where'd that go?
That one's at the stadium right now,
Okay.
so that's kind of my BP glove right now. Actually, I got a red, white, and blue one. I'll probably do another different version of that, this year again when I order my gloves. So this is what I got. Heart of the hide. Some of these are pro preferred, some heart of the hide. I like the heart of the hide lately. A little bit stiffer and better to break in. So that's what I've been going with. And then
you keep it pretty tame as far as the style, but you've had some sneaky ones that like have really been high on my radar because I think it was that red, white, and blue glove, the NC State cleats you had last year. So you've said you don't have the swag to pull it off, but like you definitely can mix it in here and there.
I like to change it up a little bit, but I don't know what I can and can't get away with. So
well, you've got one. Got one here that might be
this one's
the swaggiest of them all.
This one's really good. So we talked about this a little earlier. I think this is probably one of my favorite gloves I've ever gotten. 11.5 Pro NP5. I think the rest of the alphabet's there. 1K 1KC Pro. So pretty standard, and they're all I think Pro NP5s with a little bit of variation. But 11.5 post web, and then the suede is just. It's just awesome.
And then the mesh. What's the story so far with the mesh? How do you feel with it?
Yeah, it's definitely a little lighter. I'm gonna have to get used to it, but the mesh looks. I think it looks so good. The combination, the stitching, the mesh, and then also the tan leather. It's probably my favorite. Hopefully it breaks in really well, and then I'll probably be using this in games. I wanna try to make this a gamer. This is pro preferred. I know the last one was Heart of the Hive. This is pro preferred, and feels really really good right now. So. We're going to take it slow and see what happens.
Is it more of a look with the mesh? I mean, some guys, I think in the outfield, there's a lot of guys, and as a pitcher especially, guys use it for weight savings.
Yeah.
But is it more of a look for you, or you think it's actually going to have a performance benefit?
Hopefully performance benefit. That's always nice. But as of right now, it's just a look. I think heavier, lighter, I don't think it matters too much. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So, in the past I've used a lot of leather. I mean, I got a suede one, which is somewhat new, but I've never used a glove this light. I think it should be good just as long as it doesn't get flimsy on me. Like I said, I like it pretty firm and stiff, and then hopefully it lasts me a lot longer that way. Where some of these other gloves, I don't know how the mesh is gonna break in as opposed to these, but as of right now. Probably my favorite.
How about you've got a bat here. I think this is a bat that's pretty important to you.
Yes.
What is that bat? Where's it from? And I guess tell me about the model.
Yeah, so this is one of two cycle bats for me. I broke the first one. This is the second one. And it's probably one of the only bats that I will actually keep. And it's a model I still use. I use James 7M is this one. I like the Marucci Joe Mauer models. When I first started in pro ball, that's one of the first models I used. So that's my favorite. I will switch it up every once in a while, just a little bit of tweaks. With Marucci and with Rawlings, I have a TVT model that's just slightly different. Pretty similar, maybe a smaller barrel. Which is good sometimes when just looking for that contact when you score up the ball, and then sometimes a little bit bigger when you're feeling good about yourself and you're trying to hit some homers. So I'll go back and forth, but for the most part I swing mostly Marucci and then a little bit of Rawlings too.
And I saw you working in the cage today. What are you working on this year? Ahead of the year, just to kind of.
Yeah, I've tried to make some adjustments this year. Just trying to be more consistent. I think. I know the hitter I want to be, and I've made a little adjustment to my leg kick, so I try to be a little bit more consistent, and I think it's going really well. I feel like still producing good power and driving the ball, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to slap the ball over the field. I want to drive it and be dangerous. So in the cage today, just working on driving the ball, but being consistent. Not trying to do too much, and making sure I repeat my swing.